let's talk summer patterns. So hello and welcome. Today we are looking at some summer type pattern inspiration. We're looking at Lovecraft today. Sometimes I look at Ravelry, sometimes I look at Lovecrafts. But yeah, today we're doing a bit of a Lovecraft mission. So we're looking at combinations of knit and crochet patterns that are suitable to work on during the warmer weather, but also suitable to wear or use during the warmer weather. So obviously those of you south of in the southern hemisphere, those of you who are heading into more winter weather, just hold on to these for next year. Probably worth making some of them up now and having them in stock and making them in advance. And I kind of wish every year I'd been a little bit more organised with my makes for warmer weather when the heating on the outside world goes up. But as always, I don't even think about it until it gets warmer. But that's a me problem. So now that the cat has come to join us, let's flip the camera around and grab the screen so that we can have a little look at some of these patterns. I've used the tabs again on and grouped them as I did with the last pattern one, and we're going to start with some knit tops. So we're going to start off with this Lily Larson pattern. Hopefully the cat is not purring too loudly. The Lily Larson pattern Summer Bubbles top. A lot of these patterns will be paid for patterns, that's just the way it goes sometimes. So I thought this was a rather nice knit project. It's a relatively simple stitch, it's quite a popular stitch and look kind of trendy, and you can do all sorts of colour combinations. I think the yellow and white works particularly well. It's just a little sort of tank top, vest top type situation. I like the way they've done the contrast ribbing, so the ribbing on the neckline and the ribbing on the armholes is not the same colour. I think that's a nice touch. But yeah, overall, nice, simple, straightforward shape, so easy to wear. If you did that in a cotton-based fabric, that would be great for the summer, or a linen-based fabric. But you could also do it as a layering piece for cooler seasons as well, so definitely one to keep your eye on. Obviously all of the patterns will be linked in the description down below, so if you're interested, just pop down there and take a look. The next one we're going to have a look at is by Moon E, and that's the Apex Summer Tops. This is again a very easy to wear, straightforward top. The yarn choice for all of these wearable projects for these first couple of sections is going to be important. You're going to want something breathable, something lightweight for summer stuff. I think it's an interesting colour palette that Mooney has chosen for her sample of this project. These simple stripes with eyelets. We've got different textures, so the sort of pucey peachy colour is in a stocking stitch, and then we've got garter stitch with the eyelets in the blue stripe. So yeah, nice combination. Again, easy to wear, raglan, quite open neckline. So that should be nice and handy for the summer. And for those of you that are going into cold seasons, you could always just work this with longer sleeves and have a wintry garment. Interestingly, in the pictures she has put the measurements, the sizes and the pattern layout, so that's quite a handy thing to have available to look at when you're working out what patterns to buy. Next up, again, a classic, easy to wear, striped v-neck tee. Don't often see v-necks, or at least I don't often notice v-necks in knitting and crochet patterns, so it is nice to see one. See a sort of Breton-esque style stripes with a wider white band across the top there. Again, this would be effective in all sorts of different colours, and I do like the interesting picot edge to the bind-offs. I think that's a nice touch just to elevate what is effectively a basic t-shirt, just that little bit further. I mean, it's elevated anyway because it's knit with these pearl ridges, but the picot edge really does sort of finish it off. So yeah, a nice classic garment for the summer. And again, you could easily adapt this to longer sleeves. Being a knit project, I mean, you could pick up and knit sleeves where the picot edge is and do the picot on the cuff. Most of us will have knit sleeves at some point if we are into knitting garments. We're going to move on to a combination pattern. I was initially looking just for tops, as I felt that was likely to be more practical for summer knits. Smaller projects, easier to wear, easier to combine with other things. I wouldn't fancy like woolly bottom halves, particularly shorts and stuff for the summer. But this dress top pattern came up, so it's both a top and a dress in the same pattern. So again, V-neck. Again, you could adapt it to have sleeves if you wanted to, but this is a sleeveless. So stocking stitch, nicely shaped dress, a simple silhouette with a nice bit of detail with this moss stitch down the front. So yeah, as I say, easy to adapt if you want to, and the fact that it's got the pattern with the top and the dress both included, so you've got a nice silhouette on the top as well as the dress. It's just a shorter length. I think that's a nice little versatile pattern. Again, could be used for layering. I can see it over the top of a longer sleeve tee in cooler temperatures as well, or perhaps a little polo neck in the winter. And then the next one is more definitively summer. It's the Live Summer top. So again, this is knit. This is a kind of bralette pattern, crop top vest bralette type thing. But I do think that the way the stitches are laid out with this kind of rib texture and the decreases at the top of the bust line, and then the crossover detail at the base, it just made an interesting look, and I think that band at the bottom is going to help with the shaping as well. So yeah, she's really thought through the shaping of this particular top. That's an independent designer. So I don't know the designer's name, but yeah, I think that's a nice elevated version of the bralette crop top thing. As I try and peer around the cat. And my final knit top for you is the Umble Summer top. So this is a more drapey project, so more floaty. So nice fabric choices, be silks and linens and that kind of thing. They've got that bit of drape to it. Do you like the keyhole detail at the back? And simple outline again, but easy breezy, simple to wear. And this would be suitable for wearing to work in the summer as well. And that bit of drape is going to get a nice bit of airflow around on hotter days. Interesting with the stripes as well, so it's not just a plain top. So yeah, and again, an elevated basic to wear during the warmer weather. And that one is by Irene. So that's my knit top selection. I wasn't thinking I'd find too many knit projects for the summer. Obviously a lot of it does come down to yarn choice, but to find quite a few summery design patterns, it's not something I normally think of for summer, the knit top type situation. But if we move on to crochet tops, this is something that I do think a little bit more about for summer wear, because crochet obviously naturally has more holes in it. So we're going to start with Tasha Margate Reynolds Honeycomb Mesh Tee, which is listed as an easy crochet pattern. So again, simple silhouette, nice outline, nice and breezy, easy to layer up and to just sort of give a casual lift to those summer vest top tank tops that we all wear. But giving a little bit more coverage, a little bit more hiding of things that some of us are not so confident about, which is always a good thing, without sort of taking away the airflow. So that'd be a nice practical summer top for those of us going into warmer weather. Again, you could layer it in the winter and the autumn as well, and use it all year round if you wanted to. It'd be a nice little layering piece. Yeah, so I like that. It's a bit of a sort of 80s vibe to it. Very much my sort of thing. Whether I'll get around to making or not this year, who knows? But I do like the idea of that. Next up we have the classic granny square top. You couldn't really do a crochet wearable list without some granny squares in there, could we? So again, a nice simple silhouette. Is a basic t-shirt shaped. Nice scoop neck to it, so again not too close around the neck. I mean, I know I'm wearing a crew neck today, so it is fairly high up, but I do generally in warmer weather prefer a more open neckline with the heat. So the designers actually worked this one to more of a crop length. So this is Kaja. So it's more of a crop length in the sample, but it wouldn't be too difficult if you were somebody who prefers a longer length to add another row of granny squares or extend that waistline a bit further down. You can also do it in a larger size by adding more granny squares to it. So nicely adaptable. 4 different sizes. If you wanted a looser fit, so it's not everybody wants something so tight in the summer. And nice to see that there's a vest version as well. So nice versatile pattern. So this person hasn't worked up without the sleeves on. So yeah, nice and adaptable. I think she's done a few extra rows on the waistline as well compared to the first sample that we saw. So yes, I think this one will be a potentially popular pattern to be working on during the summer. The next one I saw really took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting to see this kind of a pattern coming up on a crochet pattern list. So again, it's listed as independent designer. I wonder if that's Lovecraft's own designers. I know it's a French designer. Okay. So lots of crochet things in their list. So we've got a polo shirt from independent designer with this wave pattern. So it was really unusual compared to the other crochet garments that I tend to see. So short sleeve with the collar, be good for an overshirt as well as wearing buttoned up. I love the colour choices as well that they've chosen for the sample, but it would work in any colour palette. So again, a nice sort of vintage retro-y kind of feel to it, almost more 90s for this one. But yeah, I think that'd be a nice versatile project to add to your list for the summer. And obviously we couldn't do a crochet garment list without some lacy tops. So we have first up the Summer Garden Top by Anna D. So this is a nice sort of florally lacy pattern. I'm not quite sure what the stitch is called. So it looks kind of like flower heads to me. So it's a shell-shaped top with these little cap sleeves, open neckline. Again, nice and breezy, good for layering. And yeah, you would be able to adapt this for other seasons with what you layer underneath it. So yeah, liked that one. Another lacy option for those of us who like a little bit of a longer length. So this is a similar shaped top. Again, Anna D. And it's more of a wave feather and fan-esque type pattern. This is the spring summer top tunic, so it is a longer length, and in the sample pictures they're showing it both belted and unbelted. So again, showing that versatility, a bit more of a pronounced cap sleeve on this one. But again, great for layering, great for adapting all year round. It gives this interesting neckline with this particular stitch pattern. So you've got the option of the high neck here, that's been evened out, and the lower neck retaining that wave feature to it. I imagine you could do the same at the base, at the bottom as well, if you so chose. But I do like the fact they're showing it styled in 2 different ways. My third lacy top is by Knit Crow Addict, and it's the lacy summer top, so more of a boxy tee silhouette. Again, slightly cropped length, but it wouldn't be too hard to add a few more rows and make it that bit longer. And again, it would be great for layering as well, to add a bit more interest to some of those more plain basic tees that we have in our wardrobes. So yeah, simple shape, nice little interesting edge to the neckline and the sleeves. Again, I suppose if you wanted to, you could probably find a way to add that onto the bottom. Crochet being nice and adaptable. So yeah, nice simple shape, seamed project. I don't think that this one would take very long to work up, given the way that it's worked and how open it is. And my final crochet project is one I just couldn't resist. It's very retro. I'm in that phase at the moment of being drawn to kind of the 70s-esque stuff. So of course I was drawn to Kyla Zoren's Girls of Summer top. Now this just screams 70s to me. It's a crochet poncho with these floral motifs across the neckline. That's that square sort of bib shape to the neckline, and then the drapey mesh with the lace edging on the bottom. So yeah, I thought this was quite elegant. Again, for some workplaces it would be suitable. It'd be suitable for mine. Might be suitable for, you know, more sort of suited and booted offices, but we're quite laid back where I work. As well as just throwing on as a beach cover up if you wanted to. Again, if you wanted it larger, you could make it larger. You could adapt it to do it smaller for smaller people, I'm sure. I mean, I don't know what sizes are in the pattern, or whether it's a one size, which it may be being a poncho. But yeah, it should be fairly easily adaptable. Again, I love the colour choices that this particular designer has made. Very retro, very 70s. Enjoying that vibe at the moment. As those of you who have seen me filming in my recently redecorated living room will attest. We're quite into the orange at the moment, and the orange and brown. So yeah, we're in our 70s era. So that's my wearable garment type picks for Lovecraft patterns suitable for working on or wearing in the summer. But that's not the only things I picked out. We've also got some accessories. So we're going to start with hats. We've got a few hats to look at, and then we'll move on to bags and then some general accessories to round out at the end. So first up we have the Soleil sun hat knitting pattern, which is by Mookie Crafts. I do like Mookie's designs. I haven't actually worked any of them up, but the hat is rather cute. So it's this knit, wide-brimmed, floppy sun hat with this massive bow on it. Nice contrast details. There's kid sizes, adult sizes, and the option to knit it either flat or in the round. So, you know, choose your preference. So that's great. Again, I like the way they've lifted the brim up at the front on this particular example. It makes me think of Blossom, the 90s inspo there. So yeah, great adaptable pattern. If you have little ones, you can do mini-me versions and have matching coordinated hats if your child is into floppy hats and bows. Works well with the contrast colours as well as all in the one shade. So yeah, great versatile little hat pattern for all ages. My second hat pattern is a crochet one. So this is the Crochet Floppy Beach Hat by Millie Magfa. I hope I'm saying that right. So this is in a chunky yarn. I think this would probably work rather well in a raffia. I suspect it's raffia that's been used for this sample here. It's not going to be great for, you know, preventing sunburn, but it will help you look stylish. Just, you know, remember your sunscreen. So yeah, nice droopy floppy hat with a bit of structure, lots of aeration in it. So if you're like me and get quite warm in the head, I like hats, but they can get a little bit warm in the summer. This might be a good option because it's airy and will let that breeze through when we get it. So yeah, so that's the Crochet Floppy Beach Hat. And my final hat is the Mare Raffia hat by Maria Isabel. So it's a bit of a smaller, more refined shape to it. Not quite a cloche, but more on that sort of style of hat than the big floppy brim. So it's still got a brim, a little bit closer on the stitches. So quite the combination between the Mookie knit hat and the floppy beach hat that we just looked at. So a little bit less open in the crochet, but yeah, similar shape to the Mookie hat, and with that bow detail on as well. So this would look rather stylish wandering around, and Leo clearly agrees. So yeah, so there's the hat options. So moving on to bags, because if you've got a hat, you've got to have a bag to go with it. So we've got a variety of bags to look at. So first up we have the Not Your Granny bag. So you'll have seen, most likely if you've been on social media over the past couple of years, the granny square bags that have this kind of a shape to them, but this is more of a stripe rather than a square, and I think it looks quite stylish and a little bit different to the granny square ones that we've been seeing all over the place. We've even got an example done just in plain granny stitch. That may just be the back. So yeah, nice little versatile small bag, just for your suntan lotion, your sunglasses and your purse, that kind of a thing. But you might need to take a few more things around with you. So what about the fringe basket bag? So this is again a tote pattern, but a bit larger, with that nice interesting fringe detail and the contrast colour in there as well. So you can be able to fit a good amount of stuff in there for a trip to the beach or a day trip to wherever. So I thought that was a nice versatile sized bag. Back to the small bags, we've got a raffia bag here as well. So if you are just needing to pop a small suntan lotion, your purse and maybe your phone or some lip balm in a bag, this Frankie Summer bag by Anna P may well fit the bill. Or if you have a child who needs to just carry around their pocket money and their suntan lotion on a day out, this would work for that as well. So yeah, nice little interesting shape to it, this circular shape. I do like the tassel on it as well. So to give you a size of a sort of scale to see it by, we have it against a child. So it's quite large for a child, probably not so great for an adult in terms of volume, but it shouldn't be too bad to increase the size if you wanted to. So there's an adult hand holding it. My final bag, we're going back to the big bags now. So we have the Delmart tote. I thought this was quite a stylish bag, and again would do you all year round. So you could use it for taking trips to the beach, or if you're somebody who needs to take lots of things with you to work, or carries around a journal or a large planner or something in their bag, or reading books, that kind of stuff. If you need to carry your kids' stuff as well as yours, this is probably a good size bag for that. So the Delmart tote bag by Megan B. I like the leather or faux leather straps that she's used on this, so getting hold of some sort of contrast strap would be a good option. Yes, Leo, it would. The cat is rather fussy this morning, I'm afraid. He's not quite sure why I am talking. Okay, so there we go, the Delmart tote bag. So that's all the bag options, and we've just got some general accessories to look at. So let's get to that tab. Okay, so for accessories, we start with the classic headbands. So there's the boho headband here, which is a crochet headband by Agatha. So a few examples in different colours. This is quite a wide headband. Probably wouldn't wear it the way she's demonstrated it on the, faux head. I would probably wear it more like an Alice band if I was wearing it myself. Then we also have the boutique flower headband by Vita Ipala, which has got a little bit more whimsy to it. Again, crochet pattern, nice versatile for sort of changing up colours. This might be good for bridesmaids if you have a wedding coming up. The third scarf I put this one on largely for the way she styled it. I wouldn't have thought of tying headscarf around like an updo at the back there in the way that she's done, but it looks rather fabulous. Fairly lightweight scarf. She's obviously showing various different ways of styling. I do think having it around the hair like that is a nice option. I would probably need a few Kirby grips to hold it in place, however. And yeah, interesting styling there. And my final headband is the Fiji headband. So this is more my style of headband, the long 60s, 70s retro style headband. So this is by Michelle F. And it's so sort of classic and simple and easy to wear. So yeah, I think that's a good one for summer. So we've got two more accessories to look at, and they are jewellery based. So first up we have floral wrist straps. So this is a free pattern. So a nice simple crochet pattern for these bracelet type flower situations. And so we've got one leaf and a couple of different sized flowers, so you can create a little posy on the wrist there. Again, if you're doing a handmade themed wedding, this might be good for bridesmaids as corsages. And my final accessory to show you, I would never have thought of doing this, Mint Spirit Boho Festival Earrings by Sweet Softy. So these are some rather cute dangly earrings. It's, like I say, nothing that I would have thought of doing myself as a crochet project, but rather stylish, and again, wouldn't take very long to do. You could do them for lots of friends as gifts at this time of year. So there's my little roundup of summer suitable knitting and crochet patterns. An abundance of cat hair being thrown into the air. It's that time of year where he's just molting, ready for the warmer weather. So thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. In the meantime, there's this one here that might be of interest to you, and I will see you soon. But until then, happy crafting, and bye-bye for now.